Good morning, everyone, or afternoon it is now in my neck of the woods. I'm so glad you're here for Hey Y'all Hey radio show. I'm Ann with Andale Homestead.
And I'm Sandi with Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona.
Hello, everyone. It is Cayce over at Ormby Farms.
And as you'll see, we're missing one of our partners in crime here, Monica. She's being a mama today. Her son has a dental appointment, but she'll be on her channel in the chat. So it's kind of like a premiere for her. We miss you, Monica, but we know that you're doing what's important.
Correct. And dental work is never fun. Huh? But y'all know what is fun? Incubating eggs. Which is what we're talking about that today. Y'all saw that little slight transition somehow. I don't know how I got that one, but
I see.
We are talking about incubating eggs today. That is our latest episode of season 5 of Around the Hay Bale. It was a lot of fun. So I know that me and Sandi both have incubated eggs, and her mind was blown during the podcast, but we are going to get her to do it this year.
Yes.
Or at least in the next couple of years, she's going to incubate. I just feel it. Has anybody in the chat incubated eggs? Let us know. I'll pull up some comments. But Sandi, did you want to start with talking about the episode and incubating eggs and how you got started with it?
Sure. Well, I have been incubating eggs since my children were young. And I'm an old woman. So, I've been doing it a long time. But I've always tried to have some kind of mechanical incubator. When I grew up on and visited my grandma's farm all summer long, she did it in a brooder house. She did it all, let the chickens do it all. Well, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take anything to chance. So I have a styrofoam incubator. It can hold 42 eggs, and it has an automatic turner. And if I was going to make one suggestion to new people buying an incubator, make sure it has a turner. Because otherwise you are going to be turning those eggs 3 or 4 times a day.
Yikes.
Every single day during the 21 days. Now, Monica had a great suggestion. If you have to turn those eggs, she puts a circle on one side and a line on the other side. So she always knows that she's turned them. Her other trick was that she took a pencil and she wrote the date that the eggs should hatch. And I thought that was brilliant.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because it keeps you organized.
I would have to do that. I mean, I don't own a calendar hardly anymore. So I would have to put the date that they're supposed to be hatched. And from what I understand, you do a little research or your incubator may come with a book that tells you how long certain eggs need to incubate. Is that right?
Yes. When I got mine, it had a booklet and it said, okay, chicken eggs, 21 days. I think turkey eggs are 28 days. Am I correct, Cayce, with that? 28 days?
28 days, they are.
And different eggs are different things. So like duck eggs are about turkey eggs. Emu eggs, I think, are longer. And Monica, if she's in the chat, she could probably tell us how many days those emus took to hatch out of her incubator.
Right.
Isn't that crazy? Now, we do want to appreciate everyone that is here. We are live on Bland's Promised Land Ranch, even though Monica
we are trying to get back live on Bland's Promised Land Ranch live right now. So we're working on that, but we are live on the other ones.
Okay. And we are live on Ormby Farms. We are live on Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona, on Andale Homestead, on Round the Hay Bale, all on YouTube. So it's a lot of fun to have everybody in here. And I want to take a second to thank Ginger from Not For Nothing Homestead. She has agreed to drop links in all these channels. And when she agreed, I'm sure she didn't know that we were going to work her to pieces. But, those moderator positions pay so highly that Ginger, we really do appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So also our podcast does come out every Monday. What time does it come out, Cayce?
9 a.m. Central.
9 a.m. Central. And all you have to do is say, Alexa, play Around the Hay Bale podcast. Because I said, Alexa, play Around the Hay Bale. And she said, I don't know what you're talking about. So you have to add podcast on the end of there. But it was a lot of fun to be able to listen to that and walk around the house and get things done. So let's get back to incubating eggs because you have certainly piqued my interest. In fact, yesterday I was over at the grandgirls' home, and their Mimi has chickens with roosters. So she has a lot of fertilized eggs. And I asked if sometime, probably in the fall, could I please have maybe a few of her eggs to be able to try to incubate? And they all agreed that that would be a wonderful thing. Because I want to include the grandchildren in that. And so, what made you all start? Cayce, how many eggs and birds and types of birds have you incubated?
A lot, because as I said on the podcast, I feel that I am the turkey whisperer now because I will say turkeys, as sweet as they are, and I don't know, Sandi, if you've raised turkeys before, but they are the sweetest things, but they are dumb. They are dumb. They wake up in the morning ready to die. But we did, our first round was 36, a mixture of turkey and chickens, and then this last one was 24 only turkeys.
Wow.
But I know Monica, who's in the chat, she has done about, maybe I shouldn't say the exact number since her husband listens to the podcast in the morning show, but I knew she had multiple incubators going of eggs. But I have so much fun. It's such a cool process. Sandi talked about it on the podcast, how it's such a family experience, especially for kids, because they get to choose the eggs. They get to watch it for the 21 days, and then you get to watch them hatch, and they come out looking all wet and drowned and looking crazy. But then in 24 hours, they're this little fluff ball that will sit in your hand. And it's great. So yes, we've done maybe 72 in the past 4 months. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What about you, Sandi?
Well, I've only done chickens. I haven't ever incubated anything else, but literally over the years, hundreds and hundreds. And it's just so interesting. You know, I remember the very first time the kids were little, and when those little chicks started pecking at those eggs and they start cracking open, and the kids are just so worried. Oh, we have to help them. No, don't help them.
Right.
They can do it.
I would want you too.
But when they come out and they're all wet, then the kids are like, ooh. And then pretty soon they dry and they're fluffy, and it's just such a fascinating and I think educational thing for them. I think they need to know that this is the process of life.
Right.
And watching eggs is a really great first start for that process.
That's okay. So, all right. So let's go with chicken eggs because I know absolutely nothing about it. And I know with water, glass, and eggs, you have to put the pointy side down. Is there a position that you have to put your eggs in the incubator? I know that if you mark them one side and then the other, you'll know if you've turned them if you don't have an automatic turner. I know that we can put the date on there and things, stuff like that. That was when they're due. But all right, so I've got chicken eggs. I've put them in the incubator. I let them go for 28 days.
21.
They're hatching. How long do you leave them? Because I've seen, my knowledge is from YouTube. I've seen people leave them in the incubator until they're pretty sure that all the eggs, okay, don't forget the thumbs up. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Ginger. All the eggs that you think are going to hatch have hatched. Is that right? So because sometimes that could be 2 or 3 days, right?
I know that I've heard that you really don't want to go past 48 hours. 24 hours is fine because they kind of fluff up and they dry off, and they've just eaten, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandi, but they've eaten I don't want to say embryo, but the fluid that's in that egg. So they have the nutrients that will sustain them up to 48 hours. And then after I do 24 hours, after 24 hours, I introduce them to water and food and their new brooder. But
Okay.
Sandi, you wanted to answer that more kind of in depth of.
Well, yeah. So Anne's first question, position of the egg. Like I have a turner, so it's the pointy side down. If you didn't have a turner, you're literally laying them on the side. And that's why you have to keep turning them about 4 times a day. I am like Cayce. After 24 hours, I'm opening it up, taking them out, put them in the brooder, introducing them to their new surroundings. The brooder has a heater in there. And you can adjust the height of the light, the heater, based on your chicks. And as they grow, you can make that light go up higher too. So it's really watching, paying attention. But usually, like the chicken eggs take 21 days. So 21 days for chickens. So 3 or 4 days before that 21-day mark, I'm taking my eggs out of the egg turner. I'm taking the egg turner out of there, and I'm just laying them flat.
Okay.
And I just shut it down. I call it lockdown. Some people do that. Some people don't do that. I don't turn them at all after that. I just let them start to hatch.
Okay. We do miss Monica. She is in a position where she can't really get service very well, but she does duck eggs and things like that, because I know she water glasses duck eggs, but she does duck eggs as well, I think.
And I think that she's done gosling. I know we talked about that on the podcast. I am pretty sure that I remember from her talking about that is that turkey, duck, and gosling are all around that 28-day incubation. And I do the same thing. I really like the 4 days before. I learned this. I actually said this on the podcast that I wish I would have known going into incubating to take your eggs out of the turners. I have the incubator that has the bright yellow turners 4 days before they're supposed to hatch, and lay them down on their sides. And that's what's considered the lockdown time, because you don't want to open it. I don't really mess with the humidity then, because after the first egg hatches, the humidity is going to spike. It's okay. It's normal, y'all. Don't worry. But I wish I would have known to take it out, because my first 2 turkeys that hatched around the first time, I go in there because I'm like, I hear birds in my house somewhere. So I'm walking around, because this was maybe 2 days early, and walked around, and there they are walking as the eggs are turning, stumbling, falling over the other eggs. But you take them out, you lay them down on the side, and wait for them to hatch. And some people are really strict on the quote unquote lockdown. Some people are not. Tune in to the podcast. We'll drop.
Yeah, Monica will tell you all about it. She says, "Don't stress, baby. Don't stress.
Don't stress. Don't stress." But I think the lockdown period. I think those 2 things, to make sure that you take them off the turners, is something important to listen to and not really worry about, but make sure that you do, and make sure that they're, I say, completely dry. I know there's probably a more scientific way to say it.
That they're what?
Completely dry, so they're fluffy before you take them out, because they could, just like babies, you don't want to get them sick, and they're still somewhat wet, and you're transferring them to all these different places. I know I saw a couple in here that said 12 hours. Some people leave 36. Oh, Chris said 36. Chris, is that for all of your poultry, or is that just for quail? Or
did you leave them hatched for 36? Well, I mean, because the brooders, or the whatever they call them, the little chicken hatcheries, will mail out their babies, so they go a while. I think that's good. But yeah, some say 12, some say 36. Quail 16 days, chickens 21 days, turkey, goose, and most ducks are 28.
Yeah.
Dovey ducks are 35.
Oh, wow.
And chuckers are 23. I don't know what that is.
I don't either. Sandi, do you know what those are?
No.
What are those, Chris?
Yeah, what are those, Chris?
Inform us. What are those?
In the meantime. may I say hello to people that are here? I'm so glad
Sure
that we
can.
have Christine from Mrs. Gillum Farms. It was her birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Christine. So glad to
Happy
see you.
birthday. You know, I actually competed and I lost to Christine, but I did the game night and it was
Oh,
me versus Christine in the final round.
you
She's a
did.
smart lady. That's a smart lady right there. I'm telling
She
you. She
is. She's smart. She's smart. Don't let her fool you. That's for sure. Alvin Watkins, we're glad you're here. Of course, Ginger from Not For Nothing Homestead is bouncing her little self all over the place. Round the hay bale, we have Chris and Larry Homestead. I'm so glad you're here, Chris. We had missed you
yes.
before. And then Jennifer Ocean Homestead has 13 acres of land, but she doesn't have any equipment or anything. So she's starting her gardening in 5-gallon buckets. But she says, oh my gosh, she's got to buy the wood, then build a coop, and not really fancy all that much, but it's so much to learn. Girl, jump in the deep end of the pool because it's a matter of just doing it. I mean, you get some books and some good friends that we have here. Pay attention to Round the Hay Bale podcast, and we can help. So, and let's see, we have a few more country mama musings. Alicia, hey, good morning, honey.
Hey, friend.
Two Doves, Bees, and Gardens. We had a wonderful discussion with them yesterday. That was great. And let's see, Lulu's Treasure Trove is here. I'm so glad you're here, honey.
I'm
And
trying to find the people as you're saying it, Ann. So
okay,
I'm
Lulu's
missing it
Treasure
all.
Trove is towards the end. She said happy birthday to Christine. And today, although Monica is at the dentist with her son, today is Monica and Eric's anniversary.
Yep.
I'm so
Woo!
happy for them. I hate that she has to spend it listening to dentist tools, but she is there being the mama and supporting her son. So that's wonderful. Oh, a partridge.
Oh,
Partridge
like a
in a
partridge
pear
in a
tree.
pear tree.
Ah,
I've never seen anybody growing partridge. And
awesome.
pheasants, they're 28 days. See, none of us know everything, right? Nobody knows everything. But together, with all of our knowledge together, we can really learn a lot. And hey, being us, Odyssey, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, and Monica says it's hard to listen without earbuds. Poor baby. She's, well, hey, everybody in the dentist office can listen to us at the same time, right?
Right.
I think that Anne put one good point that we have to remember is that she's going to get fertile eggs this fall.
Yeah.
If you just have hens, they're laying.
Mhm.
You can't have babies. These
Right.
are facts. So but a lot of times you can just go to a farmer's market. You can ask the people, hey, do you have any fertile eggs that I could incubate? And a lot of times they will just
Unwashed.
give them to you, or give them to you. You just have to make sure that you're not wasting your time and energy. And one of the things we talk about in the regular podcast is candling your eggs at about 8 to 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really, going to have babies in there? So you just take them out of the incubator, use a flashlight. There's little machines you can use. But I usually 8 to 10 days. What about you, Cayce?
I aim for 10, especially with turkeys. And we talked about it. Let me tell you how amazing, how cool it is. And you'll see this soon when you candle your egg and you see the embryo and the veins coming from it. It is the coolest experience because you feel like a grandparent. Like this is my baby.
Yes.
Babies. But I do 10 days because turkey eggs are a little bit longer developing than chicken eggs. So usually my chickens are at like 7 that I check them and 10 to 12 for my turkeys. And
Okay.
darker shells. They have thicker shells than chickens, so it's hard to candle it. Now, definitely candle your eggs in the dark, y'all. I tried to do it midday and turn off a room light, and that you really can't see it unless your windows are blacked out.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
so cool.
So I can't do it to store-bought eggs.
Right.
I can't do it to my own eggs because I just have girls. And it does take a girl and a boy to make a fertilized egg.
Yep.
Hey, Scott, with Traveling Escapes with the Brooms. I'm glad he's here. Look at his little
Scotty
icon.
Scott.
Yeah, his icon is so cool. He has been critter-sized is what we're doing for Critter Creek. And so no store-bought eggs, no just girl eggs. You have to have the girl and boy eggs. You can purchase just the eggs, which I'm hoping to be able to get some, not even have to purchase them from a friend of mine, the other grandmama in my family that has boys and girls and those kinds of things. And then it's
Don't
28
wash them.
days for chickens. Don't wash them.
Right.
Okay. And
No,
then
you don't want dirty eggs going in, but the same kind of eggs that you would have water glass, like we talked about in our last episode, is
right.
kind of how you want those eggs for incubating.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to appear unknowledgeable, but I'm unknowledgeable in all this stuff. I don't know what I'm doing. So it's preferable if I'm going to get an incubator to get one that has a turner. Otherwise, I have to be committed 4 times a day. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, you have to turn them. You want good, healthy baby chicks.
Okay.
And so I think the investment in the turner is worth its weight in gold.
Oh, absolutely.
It costs you money. They don't, some of them come automatically with a turner. Mine, I had to buy that separately.
Okay.
But, because we're busy,
Yeah.
So an automatic turner is the best thing ever.
I do know that we still got to get Sandi's on the link tree, but all of us have, for those that are listening, all of us have Amazon storefronts. And I know both me and Monica have an incubator recommendation on there. And I agree with Sandi. The turner is worth your sanity. Because
absolutely.
Otherwise, you're like, did I turn it? Did I turn it? Oh my gosh, did I? Oh, the babies are dead. I didn't turn, that.
Yeah.
Let the machine do it. It tells you its humidity, it tells you the temperature, and it turns it for you. So you set it and forget it and leave the rest up to God. Everything else is done there. So
okay. And then Christine says, I agree, buy a quality incubator with a turner. Because I travel a lot to the grandkids at both homes, 2 different homes. I have a son and a daughter, and I travel to their homes to look after the grandchildren. And if I were to get an incubator that has a turner, and I'm sure that it has enough water in it and so forth and so on, now worth is usually around, but I would be able to leave it for a day or 2, correct?
Yeah.
You can go out for the weekend, right?
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the machine is going to do the work for you.
Okay.
And so you just have to know, either you're using a calendar, you have it in your phone, you have it written on the eggs. So you have an idea, this is the date that they should be hatching. So 3 or 4 days before that, you're going to set up your brooder. You're going to take the turner out of there. And so that your brooder is ready.
Okay.
It's chaos if you haven't set your brooder up and all of a sudden you got these puffball of little chicks.
Yes.
And it's not ready. But
Yeah.
you can use a box. I've used a bathtub that we don't use. And you can buy the lamp. That's a heater. You can buy these little, it's like this little box-like thing that sits on top, and it adjusts, and the chicks can run in and out. And if they're cold, they go under. If they're not, they go out. And there's just a lot of tools that are available.
Okay. What I used when we bought our little chicks, because I bought them all from Tractor Supply, was a big, like the largest plastic tub I could find. I cut the inside of the top out. I covered that with netting. It's like a it's like a netting, but it's small netting, and attached it to the lid of the plastic bin. There's the heater that you were
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
hmm Put bedding in there, food and water, and I had a chair beside it where I put the heat lamp over it so that I could originally attach it to the plastic tub, but I was concerned. It was in my kitchen, and I was concerned about fire and stuff. Must be prepared for cleaning the incubator. Ooh. Is that yucky?
I didn't think it was bad at all, ever.
Yeah, I'm more bleh on cleaning the brooder
Oh, yeah.
than anything, because they smell delicious after a while.
And Lizzie says, Christine, it stinks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they do. In the brooder, which I just called it my little homemade chicken pen. Hey, Diana, glad you're here, honey. Um, you have to change it a lot. I mean, I did anyway, because it wasn't huge, and little babies poo a lot, poo and pee. And sometimes I scared some people because I put them all the little chicks in my bathtub while I was emptying their bucket. And they're going, are you going to put those chickens in the bath? I mean, are you getting ready to make them swim?
A trick that you can use when you have to clean your incubator, because it has the wire mesh, it has the turners. I like to use citric acid. You can mix it with water. It really just cleans up stuff so well. I mean, you could use apple cider vinegar, some good soap and water scrub, but the citric acid I just find is really easy. Spray it on there, let it sit for just a little bit, and spray it again and clean it all off.
Citric acid, you mean like orange peel stuff?
Yeah, you buy the powder citric acid, you mix it with water, put it in your spray bottle, and just
Okay.
clean it up.
Well, I
It's
mean,
good. Citric acid is good to have for a lot of things. Cheese making.
oh, okay.
I drew a blank. I had like 4 ideas and it
It
escaped.
just flew away.
It just flew away.
I certainly understand. Hi, Janae. Glad you're here. Well, it's so interesting. There's so many things that we can do, and you guys have me hooked. I'm probably going to try this in the fall because I'm home a little more often in the fall, and it gives the chicks an opportunity to go all winter. I don't have to worry about them laying, I'll be able to integrate them with the big girls more around February or March when it starts getting a little warmer, that kind of thing. And so I'm
And
just,
they'll be ready to lay in the springtime for you then.
yeah,
There's a lot of people that incubate in the fall versus in the spring. It just depends on what works with your life. And we talk
Right.
about it even more in the podcast. We
Yeah.
go even deeper. So you should listen to that too.
Yes. We talk about it all the time. Community sustainability. Yeah. And that is, as Anne said before, having a good group of friends that you can, if you don't know, more than likely one of your community members knows and can help you learn these different skills, homesteading skills to have. But there is always Around the Hay Bale that comes out every Monday, 9 a.m. Central.
That's right.
So
That's exactly right. So thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you,
absolutely.
Ginger, for all your moderating. And we miss and appreciate Monica popping in the chat here, there, and everywhere. And happy anniversary to Monica and Eric Bland from
Yes.
Bland's
Woo,
Promised
woo.
Land Ranch. Check out all of our channels, please. Cayce from Ormby Farm, Sandi from Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona, Monica from Bland's Promised Land Ranch, and me, Andale Homestead.
And y'all, I also hope that y'all go ahead and head over to the Round the Hay Bale YouTube channel, hit a thumbs up, hit that subscribe and bell so you know when our Friday shows come out. We have so much fun with this, and we do it for 30 minutes every Friday, just chit chat about the episode that came out the Monday before. Scan our Linktree link to listen to all of our old podcasts. We're having so much fun shooting season 5, and we hope you're enjoying listening to them. So we will see everyone next week on Hey Y'all Hey afternoon radio show. And until then, we hope y'all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, be with family. And bye, y'all. We'll see. Bye, y'all. Bye. There we go. Bye, y'all. Bye.
Think of that this weekend. Bye, y'all. Bye.
We're back.
And now live every Friday with new topics and a new time.
Don't forget, a new host.
Yay, that's right. Sandi joins the panel for Hey Y'all Hey radio show.
Now on Fridays at 11 a.m. Central. We'll see y'all there.
Are you enjoying the Hay Bale topics? To learn more, click on the Linktree link to get all our product recommendations along with discount codes and more. Are you enjoying the Hay Bale topics? To learn more, click